Severe diarrhea cases surge across the United Kingdom and scientists do not know why. Written by Paul Hunter from The Conversation. Infections from a parasite, which can cause long-lasting, severe diarrhea, has seen an unprecedented ongoing surge across the UK. This increase is infectious and has been ongoing since mid-August. Usually these are such infections that we see in countries of warm climates, third world countries. Now almost 500 cases of cryptosporidiosis in a week were reported at the end of September alone, 5 times more than the expected number for that time of year. And this may be just the tip of the iceberg, as only about 1/8 of infections are ever reported. It says, they said, contagious. While cases have started to fall, they're still well above expected numbers, and the reasons why cases are so high this year is still unknown. What is crypto? Cryptosporidiosis, sometimes called crypto, is caused by cryptosporidium parasite. There are several species of this cryptosporidium, most of which only rarely, if ever, cause disease in humans. There are 2 species which cause infections in humans, C. parvum and C. hominis. C. hominis almost exclusively causes infections in humans, while C. parvum causes infections in many different mammals, mostly cattle. But there is a subgroup of C. parvum that has recently evolved into a form that generally only infects humans. The main symptom of crypto is watery diarrhea that can be accompanied by stomach cramps, dehydration, vomiting, fever, or weight loss. Infections last about 10 days on average, which is much longer than what you would see with other infections such as salmonella or campylobacter. Crypto predominantly affects children, typically those of preschool age. Children are most at risk due to their lack of immunity. How do you contract it? Crypto is caused by inadvertently ingesting fecal matter. The parasite can be spread through food, water, in contact with an infected person or animal. Many crypto outbreaks have been caused by people drinking water that had become contaminated by human or animal feces, or consuming unpasteurized milk or contaminated foods, typically salads. Outbreaks have also been associated with farm visits, children's daycare centers, and even swimming pools. Most people recover from crypto without needing treatment, but sometimes crypto can cause severe disease, leading to weight loss and dehydration. Infections from C. hominis strain, in particular, can sometimes lead to long-term diarrhea, irritable bowel syndrome, weight loss, and fatigue. People who are severely immune compromised, such as those with HIV/AIDS or blood cancer, are also at greater risk of severe and potentially fatal infections. There's no vaccine against cryptosporidiosis, so if you catch crypto, make sure to drink plenty of water to replace lost fluids. People with more severe infections or people who are immunocompromised may be prescribed antiparasitic drugs. While these don't always work, they may help reduce the duration of the symptoms. And what's behind the current outbreak? The cause of the current surge in cryptosporidium infections in the UK is not clear. Prior to the COVID pandemic, infections would be expected to rise in late summer and early autumn each year, but this year the surge is especially large. Infections have surged in most parts of the UK, indicating it's probably not due to a localized outbreak. One explanation is that this surge is due to increased exposure. About 2/3 of recently reported C. hominis cases have been linked to overseas travel, mainly to Spain. Around 80% of these C. hominis cases reported swimming in the 14 days before becoming unwell. In Spain, the towns of Tarazona and Zaragoza have both reported large waterborne outbreaks of crypto during late summer, but whether an outbreak in part of Spain well away from Mediterranean beaches most tourists head for could explain this surge is doubtful. This also does not account for some of the cases of crypto currently being reported, as foreign travel and swimming were much less frequent in recorded C. parvum cases. Another plausible explanation for this current wave is that our immunity to crypto has fallen as a result of COVID control measures. This means that the parasite is able to infect more people than would normally be the case. This would make sense, as lack of immunity was implicated in the high number of viral infections seen last year, not to mention C. hominis infections almost disappeared during the first 2 years of the pandemic due to COVID restrictions. C. parvum infections also fell, but mainly only for the first few months after restrictions were introduced. But if reduced immunity was the only explanation, then we would not expect to see increased case numbers elsewhere in Europe. Unfortunately, crypto infections are inconsistently reported across Europe, making comparisons difficult. But among the UK's neighbours, Ireland has certainly seen more cases this year than typical, even from pre-COVID years. I suspect the explanation for the outbreak is a combination of the two. Reduced population immunity following a couple of years with very few infections led to increased infection rates. This then led to increased contamination of swimming pools, leading to yet more infections. How can you protect yourself? Although most infections in the current wave have been contracted while swimming, I would encourage people to avoid swimming to protect themselves, not unless they have severe problems with immunity, but do try to avoid swallowing water while swimming. If another bather has an accident in the pool, be sure to get out properly to avoid swallowing water. Likewise, if you're suffering from diarrhea, you should avoid swimming to protect other swimmers. This is by Paul Hunter, Professor of Medicine, University of East Anglia. This article was republished from the Conversation on the Creative Commons license, and this is on Science Alert. Please leave your comments, and thank you for your support. Support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.